Do you believe in hell or heaven? Regardless of belonging to a particular religion, such hypothetical places are present in the mindset of any believer. What does heaven mean to you? Valhalla, Elysium, Iaru, or Eden? Or maybe it's all made up and there's just one heaven for everyone? It's possible this is exactly what the Hubble telescope found at the universe's center. This is what the abode of God looks like according to the orbital spacecraft. If you look closely, you can even see streets and houses. Isn't this the intelligent civilization we've been seeking all along? Scientists are still debating what this is, a fake, or has humanity really discovered something frightening? Most agree that this is a photo of the Galaxy New General Catalog, 3079, with a sparkling disk and a blindingly bright halo inside. Even if these incredible photos aren't exactly what we'd hoped, they don't lessen the achievements of modern telescopes in exploring the macrocosm and its farthest reaches.
Hubble, subscribe.
For example, James Webb, the Orbital Infrared Observatory, is already becoming legendary in science. This isn't just the largest telescope available. It was designed to revolutionize our understanding of the universe. After these discoveries, it may be time to discard astronomy textbooks and some scientists' work. Consider the galaxies it found at unprecedented distances. These objects are called JADES GC. It's 14-0 and JADES GCZ 14-1. You may wonder, isn't it common for other telescopes to find distant galaxies? Yes and no. The thing is, these objects, which appeared literally 300 million years after the Big Bang, lit up bright red through the eyepieces of the orbital observatory. This means that the galaxies are not just filled with mature stars, but also hide active black holes inside. However, this can't be the case if we follow the traditional theory of the universe's origin. After the Big Bang, forming metal-rich or mature stars, there was no building material, so they couldn't have formed. As for black holes, according to the evolution of these dark, not fully studied objects, they appear as a result of the death of massive old stars. This also doesn't fit the theory many generations of scientists believed. What do such discoveries tell us? It means that we need to fundamentally review and revise everything because our knowledge is seriously outdated and has lost its relevance. It's frightening that a huge number of fundamental scientific pillars are built on the Big Bang Theory. And if those are destroyed, it's hard to predict the consequences for modern science. How is the scientific community responding to these new circumstances? Research has already begun in this field, where scientists are re-examining the processes of black hole formation. As a result, it turns out that these objects don't necessarily form from dying stars. They can be born massive and active right away. Astronomers call this phenomenon primordial black holes. Doesn't this seem like an attempt to artificially fit existing scientific data to new information? For those who have recently started watching our channel, it's worth clarifying some of the basics. How do we determine the distance to a star, galaxy, or black hole? How do we measure distances to extremely distant objects? With a tape measure, ruler, or protractor? Of course not. We depend on the speed of a photon in a vacuum. That's exactly why telescopes observe objects not as they look at this very moment. A simple example. Light from the sun travels to us for about 8 minutes, so we see the star as it was 8 minutes ago. It's the same with distant galaxies. It's remarkable that while light from objects billions of light years away travels to us, those galaxies may no longer exist. It's hard to grasp, but that's the macrocosm. Many of its concepts clash with our usual view of the world. What else has James Webb discovered during this time? One of the most remarkable discoveries is planets located outside the solar system. It is noteworthy that we had either seen such objects indirectly or simply assumed that exoplanets were orbiting some star. But James Webb made a breakthrough in this field and photographed a planet for the first time, HIP 65426. What might it look like? Presumably, its size is 12 times larger than our Jupiter, and its age is about 20 million years. For comparison, Earth is 4.5 billion years old, so the object is quite young. The planet is located 385 light-years away from us and orbits its star at a distance 100 times farther than Earth is from the Sun. Which other planet relatively close to us has also been observed by James Webb's instruments? Wide-angle search for planets, 96b, is a gas giant in the Phoenix constellation. Started by detecting a dense layer of cloudy atmosphere around the planet, and then went on to find undeniable evidence of water vapor in it. What does this mean in practice? Even a non-specialist knows the answer. It means that there could be water on the planet. You can figure out the rest yourself. It's amazing the planet has half Jupiter's mass, but a radius that's 20% larger. The temperature on this object is extremely high because wide-angle search for the planets, 96b, is 9 times closer to its star than Mercury is to the Sun. Do you know the meaning of the word outcast? This concept can be applied to both people and celestial objects. Take, for example, the nebula New General Catalog, 1333, discovered by James Webb thousands of light years from Earth. We have known about this object for a long time, since the mid-19th century. The nebula was discovered by Eduard Schenfeld. Previously, it was impossible to study it in such detail, but James Webb changed that. And what did we learn as a result? Inside the nebula, there are 6 objects that, according to scientists' estimates, were intended by the universe to become stars. But something went wrong, and thermonuclear reactions did not occur inside these celestial bodies. Thus, the failed stars remained dark and cold. The 6 objects located in this nebula are currently gas giants, each 10 times more massive than Jupiter. Do you know how James Webb managed to leave the question open? And I mean that literally. The thing is, the telescope once discovered a huge question mark in space. The universe doesn't really like such configurations, so seeing them is a big stroke of luck, and James Webb was fortunate enough to witness it. This unusual figure is likely due to a rare gravitational lensing phenomenon, where massive objects' gravity distorts background starlight. Do you know the paradox of this phenomenon? The paradox is that, in order to examine these galaxies in detail, Earth scientists are helped by the universe itself through this very process. The object discovered by James Webb is located about 7 billion light-years away from us. These nebulae, galaxies, and other giants are the most famous discoveries by this orbital station, but they're not the only ones. For some time, James Webb observed our Jupiter, photographing its rings and auroras, as well as Saturn and Neptune, and also objects that we, due to our technical immaturity, could not see before. We're talking about the pillars of creation, which were first discovered by Hubble. This time, James Webb literally broke the object down into pixels, after which areas of gas accumulation and an amazing red glow in the background became visible. The telescope also captured the process of star formation at its peak, recording the protostar L1 527. In short, during its time in orbit, James Webb has repeatedly justified both the funds invested in its construction and the expectations of the scientific community. Still, it's worth asking, what will happen to traditional astronomy, especially considering new discoveries, particularly galaxies in such remote places where these objects shouldn't exist at all? Could it be that the Big Bang Theory is not correct? Maybe the universe didn't start from a singularity but resulted from a collision with an anti-universe? Or perhaps its creation is cyclical and our universe is one of many that repeatedly form and collapse. It's also unclear how things stand with the distribution of matter in the macrocosm. Is dark matter really the main ingredient of galaxies? To fully answer these questions, the format of this video is definitely not enough. But we still want to draw your attention to one aspect. Widely accepted theories say the cosmic microwave background radiation is distributed fairly evenly. However, there are several anomalous regions in its vast expanse. For example, the so-called axis of evil, which separates the warm and cold areas of the cosmic microwave background radiation. There is also the Eridanus supervoid, a terrifying place with a temperature close to absolute zero, enormous size, and exceptionally low microwave radiation. Everyone in both the scientific community and among conspiracy theorists has discussed it. On the map of the universe's microwave radiation, triggered by the Big Bang, the remnants of which we now live on, this cold region is clearly visible. It may have appeared due to the uneven density of the early universe. But that's not the only theory. Some physicists, yes, you heard that right, not conspiracy theorists, but physicists, believe that the Eridanus supervoid is nothing less than the imprint of a parallel universe that exists beyond the one we live in. Whatever it is, sometimes sounds can be heard coming from there. Don't jump to conclusions, just listen. The discoveries made by the Hubble and James Webb telescopes, juggling theories and hypotheses, and attempts to determine the laws governing the distribution of dark matter and energy, all of this is undermining the astrophysical postulates that orthodox science has relied on for a long time. That's why sometimes the question arises, is it possible that everything we used to believe in is just a statistical error or inaccuracies that crept into the calculations? Otherwise, where do these ghost galaxies, rogue nebulae, giant question marks, and other unusual objects come from? At the moment, we can draw only one conclusion. Modern physics has a huge number of unsolved problems. We hope that James Webb will eventually help solve them. Otherwise, we'll have to seek help from the abode of God, though it's clear our pleas won't reach them anytime soon.